The culture we live in today makes it extremely easy to live for the next moment. To not live in the current moment, but to live for the next one. To seek out these simple pleasures in life. Most of the time, those things are not the best thing that we could be doing for ourselves. And we know that. We've been told that drinking is detrimental to your health. We've been told that smoking is terrible. We've been told that fast food is not great, has carcinogenic compounds, causes reproductive harm. We all know this. Most restaurants have a Prop 65 on the window for us to see. And yet we choose to not take ourselves seriously and to indulge in it anyways. Your true potential is shrouded by the lack of value that you hold in your own life. Imagine just for a second that you took yourself 100% seriously. Everything you said, you did. You did the most healthy things for your body so you could perform optimally. You could actually have proper levels of dopamine and serotonin. You remove depression from your life, chemically remove depression from your life. What would you be like? What would you have accomplished? These are the questions that you have to be asking yourself, because if you just hide away from these questions and hide away from this realization, that's not confronting the problem that is at hand. That's hiding from it. Just imagine you jump into the deep end of the pool of whatever you want to do. You embrace the winnings and losses, not hiding from either of them. You treat your body well enough to be able to perform optimally in the situations that you put it in. You only have the one body. And yeah, I know you can get fake stuff if you slack on it. Let me tell you, I have a fake tooth because I slacked on brushing teeth because I didn't take myself seriously. And $5,000 later and 4 surgeries, now I have a fake tooth. It's not worth it. Especially because this thing might not even last my entire life and I might have to go through that again. It's not worth it. Treat yourself seriously. Take yourself seriously. Because if you don't, a miserable life awaits you. A miserable one. Too many people nowadays hear about the fact that fast food is terrible for you. And yet they still go to KFC for lunch. Too many people hear that working out is great for you. And yet they'd rather be couch potatoes. Too many people have the craving to be entrepreneurs. And yet they remain entrepreneurs. Don't be one of those people that hears the way of bettering themselves and remains the same. Because if you took yourself seriously, if you took the knowledge that you have accumulated seriously, if you took your personal health and wellness seriously, you wouldn't be doing that nonsense. And I'm speaking to myself as well, because I've fallen into this trap many times in life and I need to hear it right now. Don't fall into that trap, because the farther you go down that sinkhole, the harder it is to escape. It gets increasingly hard to change your habits up, to take yourself more seriously the older you get. The longer you wait, the harder it will be. Once you start to actually take yourself seriously in this life, you actually do what you say, instead of coming up with copes in your brain, excuses. Every single department of your life will get better. And it will shock you at how fast that will happen. Genuinely. Look at all of the people that you look up to. I guarantee you that they take themselves seriously. I guarantee you that they're not going out for Taco Bell. I guarantee you that they're taking the extra maybe 10 minutes to cook and clean after a meal. And they're fueling their body, preparing themselves for the next day. They're not staying up until 1 a.m, binge drinking, smoking, watching movies that will give nothing of value to you. If you want to actually start taking yourself seriously, you need to look at your habits. Look at the things that are impeding you on a daily basis and remove them. That is what somebody who is serious about their life and serious about their goals will do. There's no shortcut for any of this stuff. And I'm not saying that you can't ever eat fast food again, because that wouldn't be taking yourself seriously either. I'll get into that a little bit later. Let me catch my train of thought again. Once you start to take yourself seriously, you will fail. Oh, then I'm not going to take myself seriously. You know what? You have to jump off the deep end of the pool sometimes, because the ones watching will never be able to understand. If you're just one of those bystanders just watching somebody jump into the deep end of the pool, that person is not going to be able to tell you what it's like. And you will still be scared. You are going to have to take that jump yourself. You're going to actually have to take the jump and suck it up. Face the failures. Embrace them. Learn from them. Stop hiding from your failures, because somebody who is serious about their life, about themselves, embraces the failure. Doesn't come up with copes or reasons why they failed, but instead looks at it objectively and is like, okay, step right back up to bat. Let's do it. Simply just acknowledge the fact that you have failed and courageously step right back up. Do everything that you can in order to continue moving forward. That is what the person who is serious about themselves will do. Understand, you only have one life. You only have this single life. You don't know for sure whether there is something else. And so treat this one as if it is your only life. Treat it as though you care about this life, your body, your well-being. Treat it as though you want to experience and enjoy as much as you possibly can in this life. Because let me tell you, sitting on a couch and watching Netflix is not enjoying everything that this life has to offer. Get up, go on a walk. Go make some friends that want to actually do this with you. Take themselves seriously. If you're going to continue to treat your body like shit and your mind like shit, then that is exactly how you will feel. Like shit. And if that's what you want, fine. By all means. That does not harm me at all. If you want to feel like shit, you could stop watching this video right now. That is fine. Go for it. Go feel like shit. Go yeah. Just recently, a friend and I had the realization that we were not taking our bodies seriously. You know, we worked out. Like, we took that seriously. But we didn't stretch, which is very crucial in the state of working out, because you're tightening your muscles every single time you work out. You need to stretch in order to maintain limber. So you see bodybuilders that literally can't even touch their toes. That's not functional strength. If it's what they want, then they're taking themselves seriously. But for me, I want that functional strength. I want to maintain mobility. And the biggest thing for us, the biggest thing that we discussed on this walk, is I mentioned something to him, and he was like, bro, we need to go on a walk right now. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And our walks are typically very deep conversations that are honestly rough and incite change within our lives. And this one was primarily about nutrition. I mentioned earlier in this video about the Prop 65 logo on different buildings, or like restaurants and whatnot. It's on grocery stores too. The Prop 65 is basically just giving you a warning that this restaurant or establishment uses or has food that is used around chemicals that are cancerous or cause reproductive harm. And I mentioned to him that In-N-Out, we live like literally right down the street from In-N-Out. For a while, it is all we ate. But I mentioned to him that In-N-Out is kind of sneaky with theirs. And it's a little concerning, the fact that they would have to be sneaky about it. That just makes me feel a little unsettling. And it made him feel unsettling too. But they put it on glass, and most of them are done in black writing with a clear backing, so it just looks like the text. Theirs is done in white writing with a clear backing, so it literally just, you have to squint to see it. It blends in with their whole branding, the white letters on the glass door of the In-N-Out. You kind of just look over it, and it makes you wonder why that is, why they have to hide it, or why we consume it on a daily basis. And we have both done so much research on nutrition. It is insane. I don't even know if I could compute it into hours. It would be probably over 100 hours worth of just absorbing knowledge on nutrition. And we now have moved out of our family's house, so we no longer have the excuse of, oh, like my family bought it, so I have to eat it. Oh, my family's making dinner, I have to eat it. We live on our own. We can go to the store, the farmer's market grocery store right down the street and get grass-fed, grass-finished beef from a local rancher, cattle farmer, and cook it up here. It's been frozen since the time that it was packaged. There's no reheating or cooling down. We can go get bread that is made from a local baker using all whole natural ingredients. We can go get vegetables that are doing the exact same. We can grow our own vegetables. And yet we still choose to go eat out. You know what we realized is that the time that it takes, unless you're making some extravagant meal, the time that it takes for you to go to the store or to like the fast food place, wait in the line, order the food, get the food, drive back home, start eating it, you could already be done with the prepping and making of the food and be eating it. You'll save on gas as well. You'll save on money because it's actually cheaper to eat that way. And you'll save on time. Yeah, you might have to clean up afterwards. Oh well. It's a small price to pay for eating something that is going to fuel your body optimally. It's not going to give you carcinogenic compounds and reproductive harm. That we were not taking ourselves seriously. Because if we were, with all this knowledge that we had, we would be eating healthy already. And yet we had to have this realization because we were not taking ourselves seriously. And there is the ignorance state where you might not know that something is wrong. But if you're taking yourself seriously, shouldn't you want to research what food you are putting into your stomach? What food you're fueling your body with? Shouldn't you want to research how alcohol plays an effect on the human body? Shouldn't you want to research how weed affects the human body? Nicotine, just binging TikTok, shorts. Don't you want to research that? Don't you want to research how everything affects your current state? Excuse me. If you seriously took yourself seriously, if you were serious about yourself, you would want to discover the optimal way to live so that you could live functionally, you could live healthily, you could live happily. Everything is tied. Your emotions are tied to chemical releases of your body. If you are fucking up that, excuse my language, you will be depressed. That's just how it's going to go. So to rectify the lack of self-respect that we have been having for ourselves, the lack of self-seriousness that we have had about ourselves in relation to nutrition, we decided that a good rule of thumb for us is to never eat that food alone. To never be like, nobody's in the house, I don't feel like cooking, I'm gonna go out and get In-N-Out, I'm gonna go and get Taco Bell, go get Chipotle. Also, really fast, Chipotle is even sneakier. He came back after one day He went and got Chipotle with his girlfriend. And he came back and was like, I didn't want to get Chipotle. And I was looking for the Prop 65 and I didn't see it on the front windows. So I was like, Chipotle's good. It's goated. Like, Chipotle's fine. We could eat Chipotle all day. They put it in such a sneaky, conniving place that you only see it on your way out of the building. That is terrifying. Why is it intelligently placed like that? I don't like that. Not at all. And yeah, they might be just placing it there. They have to in order to save their asses from lawsuits and whatnot. But that still doesn't cut the fact that it is there because their food is around or contains carcinogenic compounds and reproductive harmful compounds. Like, that is terrifying. I was talking about how we amended our eating out habits to more seriously fit the way that we want to be living our lives and to better our physical bodies and our mental state. Just to take ourselves seriously overall. We said that we will not eat out unless it is with other people. Here's our reasoning for that. Most of the time, we are working on our own situations and everything like that. So I would say about 80% of the time, we are eating at home. We're not going out. We're not seeing other people. We are eating here. 20% of the time, and this is nowadays, 20% of the time, we will be out with friends, maybe doing some activity like snowboarding, for instance, and eating out is actually a great way to build a sense of camaraderie. You're eating with other people. It's a sense of community feeling that is really important for us humans. Let alone all the time when you're snowboarding and whatnot, you're not always going to want to make food after snowboarding. You're going to be exhausted. So it just seems like a very reasonable sense. And in that respect, we are also taking ourselves seriously with that, because we are saying, hey, when we do activities like this, we like to eat out with our friends. We like to have that activity with our friends. We don't want to become anal about this type of stuff and never eat out again, because we will actually be missing out on a large enjoyment in life. But 80% of the time, we can eat here, and it will make us appreciate those moments even more, which is and the reason why we have decided to do all of this, to maintain that eating out alone is forbidden and eating out with other people is okay as long as it is done sparingly. Like I said, the 80-20 rule is very important and what we have been kind of sticking to. So to kind of start closing things out, if you want to start taking yourself more seriously and you don't really know where to start, I recommend you start with the one thing that holds you back the most and is honestly the easiest to rectify as long as you are aware and you live consciously, is your speech. Many a times, just recently, dude, I wanted to go like 3 days prior to last Saturday, so Wednesday, or no. Yeah, Wednesday is when I decided that it would be a good day for this. Wednesday of last week, I talked to one of my buddies who I play soccer with and says, hey, let's go kick the ball around on Saturday to kind of train and prepare for our game on Sunday. Saturday rolls around and I no longer wanted to play soccer. I had other stuff I wanted to do. I'm building a desk right now, and I would have much rather have just focused on that. I would have made a lot more progress. But I had said that I was going to do it. If I took myself seriously, I was going to go. And if I didn't, then I was going to stay home. And that was repeating in my mind. And you know what? I need to take myself seriously. So I went. Even though it is not what I wanted to do at the moment, I had said that I was going to do it 3 days prior, and that is what I did. So to take yourself more seriously, the first place that you should be starting, if you don't know where to start already, is your speech. Let it be your covenant. Let it be your command. If you say you are going to do something, do it. If you say that you're not going to do something, don't do it. Stop changing your mind. Live seriously. Think about stuff before you commit to it. Or disagree with it or say, no, I'm not going to do it. Think about it. Don't just live unconsciously and say what comes to your head as soon as you hear the proposal or the first idea that comes to your head. Think about it. Take yourself seriously. Take your speech as though it is your command. It is unbreakable. So make sure that you are saying stuff that you are going to enjoy doing. And I kid you not, if you start with this is something that he has told me to do a lot because I used to be a big talker in relation to my goals and whatnot. If you are going to say something, you have to do it. By starting that, I have seen so much progress in my life. So much just more mental clarity as well. And I've started to take myself more seriously because if I say I'm going to do something, I am going to do it. And it makes me feel a lot more confident because now I feel like I could do anything. Or not do anything if I choose to. Because I started taking myself more seriously in that manner, I saw a lot of beneficial growth in all different facets of life. So I recommend you start there if you don't know where to start. Well, water your roots and grow tall. Take yourself seriously.